Welcome to Mythic Codex Legends Unveiled, the place where mythology, folklore, and legend come alive. I'm your host Eliza, and tonight we'll uncover the stories that have captivated humanity for thousands of years. Turn the page, our journey begins now. I'm so glad you're here, because today's story is one of the strangest and most unsettling legends we're covered so far. Image walking through a silent forest at midnight. The air is cold, the trees barely move, and hanging upside down from an ancient tree is what looks like a lifeless body. But then its eyes suddenly open, it smiles, and it starts to talk. Would you run? Or would you stay to hear what it has to say? Today, we're exploring the terrifying legend of Vatala, one of the oldest supernatural beings in Hindu folklore. It's a creature that's intelligent, manipulation, impossible to trick, and is said to possess the bodies of the dead. Unlike the mindless zombies we see in movies, the Vatala is clever, loves riddles, and enjoys physiologically tormenting anyone unlucky enough to cross its path. The legend of the Vatala dates back over thousands of years and comes from ancient India. These eerie spirits appear throughout Hindu mythology and Sanskrit literature, especially in the famous collection of stories known as Vatala 25 Tales of Vatala. According to the legend of Vetala, is neither truly alive nor completely dead. It's a restless spirit trapped between worlds and inhabits corpses instead of simply hunting places like graveyards, abandoned temples, battlefields, and ancient forests are believed to be their favorite places to dwell. Many believe these spirits were once people who, whose death were violent, unjust, or whose funeral rites were never properly completed. Because their souls never found peace, they remained trapped on earth. So here is a question for you. If you stumble across a body in the middle of the woods that suddenly started speaking to you, what would your first reaction be? So my first reaction would be like if it looks dead and it's not moving and it's still, and then it all of a sudden starts talking to you, that would kind of freak me out. I would probably run away. Descriptions vary, making the creature even more unsettling. Some stories describe a pale corpse with sunken eyes and long black hair hanging over its face. Others describe glowing red eyes, impossibly sharp teeth, and limbs twisted into unnatural positions. Sometimes they're said to hang upside down from tree branches like giant bats. Their laughter echoes through the forest before anyone ever sees them. The truly horrifying part? You might never know whether the person standing in front of you is alive or simply a corpse being controlled by the Vatala. One of the most famous legends involving King Vikramaditya, the king is tasked with capturing the Vatala, hanging from a tree deep within a haunted forest. Every single time he places the possessed corpse over his shoulder, the Vatala begins telling a fascinating story that ends with a difficult moral riddle. If the king knows the answer but remains silent, his head will supposedly explode. If he answers correctly, the Vatala laughs, escapes, and flies right back into the tree. So the king has to begin the entire journey again. This happens again and again, 25 separate times. The stories aren't just horror tales, they're filled with betrayal, murder, impossible choices, greed, revenge, justice. The Vatala is simply trying to escape. It's testing the king's wisdom. Many darker versions of the legend became incredibly disturbing. Some say the corpses, possessed by Vatala, move with cracking bones and twisted limbs. Others describe bodies with mouths permanently frozen into unnatural smiles. There are stories of cemeteries where fresh graves are mysteriously emptied overnight. Villagers claim they hear laughter echoing through the graveyards before discovering disturbed burial sites. Some tales describe the Vatala feeding on human flesh, drinking blood, or driving people into madness before abandoning the bodies they possessed. Several legends even warn that anyone who attempts dark riddles in cemeteries many accidentally may accidentally summon one. And once it attaches itself to someone, it becomes almost impossible to get rid of. Across India, stories have survived for generations about abandoned cemeteries, grounds where people refuse to travel after sunset. Travelers claim to hear voices calling their names from the darkness. Others reported seeing bodies sitting upright before collapsing back into the ground. Some believe the Vatala intentionally confuses travelers, causing them to wander in circles until sunrise. Whether these stories were warnings, folklore, or genuine supernatural encounters, they became part of a local tradition for centuries. So, let me ask a little bit more personal questions. Do you think spirits could actually possess a body after death? See, I don't really think they can, but according to the story, apparently they can. But me personally, like all the like movies and stuff I've watched, they don't usually like possess dead bodies. They usually possess like almost to death bodies or alive bodies, like bodies that are close to death. But I've never heard of a spirit possessing a dead body. But that's just me until this story. If someone you trusted suddenly began acting completely different, would you ever consider something supernatural? See, anyone could act differently. Like something bad happens to them. They could act differently. But I suppose a creature could cause them to act crazy or different. Would you answer the Vatala riddles, or would you stay completely silent? See, after hearing that if you don't answer the questions, your head might explode, I think I'll try to answer the riddles just to be on the safe side. but you don't really know what will happen if you answer it wrong. Maybe he'll let you go? Who knows? The Vatala is terrifying because it isn't just a monster. It's intelligent. It knows exactly how people think. It plays physiological games. It forces people to question morality, honesty, human nature before deciding their fate. That's what makes this legend survive after so many centuries. It isn't just about horror, it's about choice. So, the next time you image walking through an old forest at night, remember this. Not every body is truly dead. Not every voice belongs to the living. And if you hear laughter echoing from somewhere above you, don't look up, because according to legend, the Vatala might already be looking down at you. This is your host, Eliza. Thank you for listening to Mythic Codex Legends Unveiled. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, comment, and share it with someone who loves myths, monsters, and dark sides of folklore. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, some legends never die.